Welcome back, CSC 103, M2, W1, W2, to part 2 of our WeVideo project, where we're working with Patrick clips and audio files and image files, and we're working with some digital video. And we're working in something called WeVideo, and in the first video we created our account, we uploaded our images, we have 8 of them in here, and we're going to use these in the videos that we create, and we're going to make 2 really quick videos. So after all that, this won't take that long. So we're going to start our first one. This is called 8 Patrick Technology, and what we're going to do first is just create a little kind of intro. So we're not going to do anything with these yet. I'm just going to go into text, and you'll see this upgrade your plan and all this. Avoid anything that upgrades your plan. Just make sure you go here to static. Don't try these other ones, even though they're neat. These other ones may encourage you to upgrade, so just use static. And I'm just going to use sample text, and I'll just bring it in where it says video 1 right now. Now keep in mind when you bring it in, it'll have a certain length on it. It's actually like 8 seconds. We won't need it 8 seconds. And also, one thing on this timeline here, you can make this bigger. You could make this a little bit bigger. And these are only seconds, so that's 8 seconds. I'm going to bring it down to like 4 seconds. We'll try that for now. Or let's take it to 5. We'll try it at 5, see how that works. If you can get it right at 5. Something close to that. And now, this is just sample text. There's nothing there but sample text. So you're going to double click right here. So double click. And it'll take you in this text editing. And we're just going to put, this is Patrick. Or you could call it, it's Patrick. I'll put this is Patrick. And if you want to change the font, I'll make the first one this Alpha Slab 1. Be a nice thick font. This is Patrick. And I'll also go down here. That centers it right and left. This centers it up and down. And then what I'm going to do, I'll leave it white and I'll give it a blue background. This is the background. These look the same. This is like kind of like a highlight. This is the background of the whole block. It's hard to tell, but it's background color of the whole block. So I'm going to go here and I'll make it like a blue color, like just kind of a dark blue, something like that. Now I'm going to drag this down to the end of this preview window and kind of cover everything up. Now don't grab this thing, that's a rotation. Grab this handle here, move that up, and move this over as far as you can. If it goes too far, that's okay. As far as you can, just something like that. This isn't going to be perfect. What we do is not going to be perfect here. And I think that looks okay. And that's all you're going to do, except they have this thing here with these multiple pages is animation. So I'm going to go here and click on animation, and they have this start and end. We're going to use that later, but if you go here to fade, what they have, and you won't see anything yet, you have to do edit settings, they already have a built-in fade in. And it says for 1 second, you're going to fade from 0 to 100, and then on the fade out, you're going to go from 100 to 0. And that basically does a fade in and fade out. And that's fine, we can do that. And if you just save your changes, that's all you need to do. And if you play this movie, here's your little preview area. You could go here. That's what it does. And then it fades out. And then we're going to have a movie clip here. So then we have to go to My Media. So that's all you're doing is a 5-second This is Patrick. Now, if you want, we can do this. We could go to My Media, and we could bring in this thing that says This is Patrick. This is an audio clip here. And I could drag it, and it has to go on the audio part. So I'll just put it down here. And I'll do it so it says this is Patrick. Now I have my audio turned off right now, so you can't hear that, but it's saying when it goes over here, when you go over this part here, it's going to say this is Patrick. I'll just have to approximate what it's doing right now because I don't have my system audio turned on, so you can't hear my system audio right now. So it's saying this is Patrick right here over that. And you could try it out and see how it works. You don't have to hear mine to do that. You saw the video already, you know what it does. Now what we're going to do next is we're going to bring in a video clip. And we're going to bring in the one that's Patrick on the phone first. And you just have to drag it right down. It could go right next to the intro. It could go right there. And it's just a clip. You can't make it any longer. It's only, the video clip is only as long as the video clip is. So the video clip, if you play it, now I just want to show something here. We already have a fade out of the text, so we may not have to use a transition there. Now we're going to bring in another clip. So we're going to go back here to My Media, and I'm going to bring in the one that says Patrick Technology. And I'm just going to drag this one right here. You don't have to leave any space in between it. You could just butt them right up against each other. And then I'm going to try another transition. You could try something else, cross dissolve, and you should be able to just drag it right on top there. And I'll see how this works. This should work better. It just didn't work well with the text thing. So let me just preview it right here. And that worked fine. It just didn't work well with the text thing. All right, so it's going to play this clip. So it already has audio in it, so we don't need audio. And that's really it. We're just messing around with transitions. And then for the last transition, we're going to just put a closing credits on here, and we'll put like the curtains transitions or something on here. This time I'm going to go to text, and they have something called end credits. And you could just drag it down here, and I'll put it right here. And then I could even put a transition. I'll throw a transition on here. I'll use the curtains. Just try that out. I think I used the rainbow on the one. I'll throw curtains here. And it'll do curtains just so you know that that's the end of it. And I'll hit play. And there it is. Now my credits are just static right now. So we're going to fix that. And just like our other text thing, we could double click on this. And what we're going to do here, it goes right into animation. But before we do that, we want to go to here for our regular text properties. And I'm going to put my name in here. You can put your name. I'll just put Richard Homa. And then produced by, I'll just put Homa WCCC. That's what I put on the other one. And then for the actors, I'm going to put Patrick Star. And then as I scroll down, the second actor is going to be SpongeBob SquarePants. And just make sure that you could see everything in here first. If you want to change the color, you could highlight all of this and go to this first text editor. And if you want to put a little color on that text, you can. Now just be careful because it shortens that for some reason. I don't know why, but just drag that down. The first time I did it, it shortened that. So now that we have all those colors, and we're going to animate this. Now what we could do is go to the animation properties again, and we're just going to change the start and the end. And we're going to have it scroll up. So on the start, I'm just going to grab it with this little quad handle and just move it down until you don't see it. Doesn't have to be perfect like that. And then click on end and drag it up until you can't see it. And you could drag it up just off the screen. Doesn't matter if it's perfectly straight. Just like that. That's all you're going to do. And then you make sure that you hit Save Changes. And then that's it. And then when you go here, you're going to have the curtains, and then it's going to scroll up. And right now, this clip that's playing at the end, I left it at its default. It's 29:06, and this is 22, so it's like 7 seconds or something. If you want it shorter, you can, or you could leave it like that. And what you can do is you can go to My Media again and throw this closing credits music on top of it. Actually, it's underneath it, and you could put it right there, and you could even shorten it, because you could see it's longer than the clip, so you could shorten the music, or you can make it go, sort of to the end. And the nice thing about this is if you click on the clip, and there's a little audio thing here, click on that, and they have a fade out. And take away the in, put that on 0, because we don't want to fade in, but put the fade out at like 2, so it fades out. And you'll see that's the fade out. It's fading out. The volume is fading out here. So you could just do that, and you could click off, and it should stay like that. That way it'll fade out even when it goes to black. You could extend this thing, or you could leave it the way it is. It should be fine. And I'm going to preview it. I'll hit the back button here, and I'll just preview it. Again, you're not going to hear the sound because I don't have the sound on. I don't know if it's necessary to hear the sound, but I'll just do it. It's going to be like, "This is Patrick." So it's going to say that. And then there's the audio for all this going on. You don't need to hear that because when you do it, you're going to hear your own audio. Transition. Then there's this clip. And you know what happens here. And then there's another transition right here. Curtains. And then the closing credits, which are animated. And there's music in the background. And then it should go to the end. It's going to get close to around 30 seconds. And I think it ends right at 30. And that's it. And you can go here. That's all you have to do for your first clip. That's it. So that shouldn't take long. I'm going to go here and do save. And then when you're done, if everything's okay and it looks good, you can go to finish. And it's not going to let you do anything real high quality. This is going to be real low quality stuff. Here's a thumbnail you could choose here. Or any of these thumbnails should be fine. Now what you're going to do is you're going to hit export. You're not going to choose any of these things, because it probably won't even let you. So anyway, just hit export, and it'll say your video is queued, and it'll take a little while. Sometimes you'll see like a timer here of how long it'll take. Sometimes, depending what time of day you do it, it might take a little while. You can see it's going here. You're just going to wait a little while. You could even leave while it's going. It says you don't have to keep this window open, so you could go back. Okay, when this thing's done, finally after it's done, and sometimes it takes any amount of time, it has share your export. Now they have your Facebook, Twitter thing. I think if you go to this thing, here's the link here, but if you go to this thing, I think that's the share, and you could click on that. And this link here, and it's actually the same link that was showing there, you can copy to clipboard and close this, and then go back to my Warren, and of course this is going to be closed out. And you're going to go here and click on the link, and you're going to add a comment just like you normally do, and we're going to add 2 comments, one for each video. So do the comment here, and if you insert a link, you can actually paste it here, and you could even change the text to display. If you want to put, you know, Patrick Technology, you can do that. Just make sure you change the text and not the URL. Leave the URL, change this. Now you don't have to, but that'll help it when you have 2 links in there. And you could just make this new window. Make sure you do that. I always appreciate you doing that. And just hit OK and just do save. And that should be in there. And then when we do a second one, you're just going to add comment again when we do our second video. That'll be in the next video. I'll do another video for the second video for the animation one. And I'll go over any kind of little odd things with this thing too, because sometimes this takes a little time and going back to the dashboard. So I'll do that in part 3, because our first one was the account setup. This was part 2, and then part 3 we're going to do the Patrick animation video.